So what I'd like to review now is an emergency power down of either a piece of equipment or the lab in case of some sort of electrical emergency. Right here in the lab, where we started off, this button will shut down the power to the entire lab. So in case of an emergency, whether someone's getting electrocuted, there's some sort of electrical discharge coming out of some piece of equipment, that right there will kill the power to this whole room. Not the outer lab, just this room. If you wanted to, and you were working on a single piece of equipment and something out of the normal happens to the piece of equipment, we also have an EMO, or an emergency off button here. If you hit this, it will turn the whole piece of equipment off, power and everything. What it won't do, though, is turn the power off to the piece of the equipment itself. So if you were familiar enough to, with this tool, and you were going to perform either some sort of repair or you need to open one of the panels, there is high voltage inside, you'd need to shut the power off. This is done by what's called an electrical disconnect. It's labeled the disconnect for the Plasmatherm 790, which is this tool right here. What you'd need to do is go see the lab manager, get a lock and a tag in which you'd put your name on it, and you'd have the lock and you would have the only key. You'd come into the piece of equipment, you would power it down the way the SOP tells you to power down the piece of equipment. And then you would pull this switch down and you would put a lock through here. That way no one can power anything up while you're in the middle of working on the equipment. Now, obviously if you're here at the tool working on it, someone's not going to step over you and flip the switch back on. But if you go to lunch or something like that, there are people that come in, they don't even look at the tool, they might go, oh, it's off, try flicking it back on, and you come back, the tool's on, and you'd get injured. So it's super important, it gets tagged out, locked out, your name on the tag, and then the equipment's safe to work on. That's basically a quick overview of how to either disconnect the power from the whole lab, either emergency shut off a piece of equipment, or tag lockout a piece of equipment in case you need to service it or do work on it electrically.